Good morning, good morning, good morning. Nobody, yeah, this wasn't planned. It's a little bit spontaneous, but I was thinking this morning, I missed the idea that I was going to be live and connecting with everybody this morning. So I didn't send out an email, and it is just a spontaneous idea that I wanted to come in here. Really, this is about keeping the momentum going. So after, more extraordinary every day wound up yesterday, um, the feedback has been amazing, and I feel that there was a lot of momentum gathered as we went through that. And if anybody comes in, make sure you take a second to say hi. It's lovely to know who's here. But I really want to support you to keep the momentum going. So I've just had my morning meeting with Gia, who some of you have now met. Those that have signed up for Enliven got an email from Gia yesterday. But I just had my morning meeting with Gia, and it's like, how do we continue to support and put things out that A, you want to hear, B, are going to support you, and C, really, good morning, Janet. On the train, awesome. So, how do I support you to keep the momentum going? It's one of the things that causes me, that I really like to put a lot of thought and time into is we do these series, and I love doing interview series. I love introducing you to inspiring women from all across the globe that inspire, uplift, ignite that sense of, a next possible step. The momentum gets created, but then all of a sudden, like today, it just grinds to a halt. And what I want to do is make sure that I'm continuing to serve, continuing to give you things that support you to take the next step. So, I mean, there's a couple of ways that I want to do this. One, that I want to spend just a little bit of time with you this morning, um, talking to you about how to think about momentum. Now, I'm going to share with you stuff that I share inside my private masterminds, a momentum model that I actually learned from Tony Robbins. And I'll step you through it. And it's one of those things that you get to write down, put it on, put pen to paper and write it down rather than just listening to it. Because the more you look at it and the more you think about it, the more it will make sense. So in the Embolden Mastermind that I do after Enliven, on week 1, we talk about momentum and how to maintain momentum. And then I bring it back to them at the end of 12 weeks. And it's at the end of that 12 weeks that it is like, oh, now I get it. Now it makes sense. So we need to hear these things on repetition, and we need to experience them while we're in action before a lot of things make sense in our heads. So that's what I'm going to do. If you want to hang around and listen to that in just a minute, and it won't take long. The other thing that I'm going to do today is I'm putting together a survey that I'll send out via email. But I also ask, even in the comments section here, wherever you are tuning in, whether you're here live, whether you catch this on replay. And yes, we are both in our Create the Life You Want Facebook group and on YouTube. So what I want to know is how I can support you best moving forward. So, what really worked for you inside the More Extraordinary Everyday Challenge? Was it hearing content every day? Was it having small actionable steps? What worked for you? What changed for you? So, did it, from the intention that you set up going into it, did it serve you? And if it did, let me know, because I love to hear. And if it didn't, what was in the gap? What did you need that was missing that would have supported you better? Because there's always ways that I'm looking to support my community better. And then the third question is, what do you want from here? What would really serve you? The easiest way to think about this is from where you are right now in your life, what is causing you the greatest frustration? What would be awesome to either hear content around or, get action steps, ideas, thoughts, community, whatever that is. What is the piece that's missing? Okay. So if you hear that content and actionable steps were helpful, awesome. Thank you. So, if you can be even more specific, like which particular bits of content did really resonated with you, and what would you like to be hearing more about? Um, do you like connecting here on video, or do you like receiving things via email? These are all things that really help me to create content that serves you. Now, what I want to do is share a screen with you, because if you're like me, visuals work really well. Okay, share screen. Now, this is new. I'm just working this out, so bear with me for a second. What I want to show you is this screen. Is that showing up for you? Is that the one? Let me brave tab. Select tab to preview. Week 1. Share. Ta-da! Is that working? I think that's working. That's working. Yay! Don't we love it when video is more personal? Yeah, I get that. I get that, Liz. So would you like to hear from me inside this Facebook group? Is this serve you well if I show up in here to do trainings more often? And then, yeah, your experience of this versus email. I'm interested. That's awesome. Thank you. So what you're looking at here is how we get to think about momentum. Now, everybody has that struggle of feeling like you get in a rut, feeling like you're stuck, not moving forward. How do I get from where I am to where I want to go? How do I maintain momentum? So whether this is thinking about goals within, health goals, whether this is thinking about vocation and, creating wealth goals, whether this is maintaining momentum with, setting up a meditation practice or an exercise practice, time for self, connection with friends. What are other areas that I hear? Procrastination. This is one that I talk about a lot, because it is something that we all struggle with at different times. And the more we allow that to persist, the more chronic it becomes, and that just grows. So we want the momentum to be growing towards taking action rather than getting in a rut. So this is how starting is the hardest. So many thoughts and ideas, not knowing where to start. Absolutely. And that's where vision boarding comes in, Liz. And I know that you're doing that with me. So we're going to create that blueprint and then break it down into steps. So that is how we get, like that clear thing that we're focusing on, so that we don't get distracted by all the shiny objects on the outside. I was talking yesterday to a client about dragonfly brain. And then, dragonfly brain is that, oh, this looks lovely. Oh, this looks lovely, flitting over here and flitting over there. And what we want to do, as sweet and lovely as that sound, it doesn't serve us. We need to be a little bit more single focused on moving towards specific goals, which is, the first step is to do our vision board together, which we're going to start on Friday. So let me spend this time breaking down for you this momentum model. So let's start up in the top left-hand corner, which is potential. As humans, we are filled to overflowing with unlimited potential. Your potential to have the most unbelievable health is extraordinary. Depending on your drive and your vision and your commitment and your determination and your enthusiasm towards creating it. So, there is nothing to say that you couldn't, decide to run an ultra marathon or, take up some sport and really, get to a very amazing level in that, become a, fabulous tennis player or a netballer or a swimmer or a surfer or a whatever it is, so your potential is almost unlimited. And the way that I like to think about this is, and I call myself a wisdom curator forever because I feel like I'm always hearing these inspiring things from other people, and then I gather all this wisdom and pass it on and share it. So I don't want to pretend that these are all my ideas. This is just what I've learned that works for me. And one of those was a story that I heard from a coach called Dean Graziosi, and he talks about, imagine you arrive at the pearly gates. Don't get attached to the idea of whether you believe in heaven or whatever that is for you, but roll with me with the concept. You arrive at the pearly gates, and God or your creator says to you, I gave you unlimited potential. What did you do with it? Now, this rolls back into our, the legacy conversation that we had during the More Extraordinary Everyday Challenge. How do you want to answer that? How do you want to answer that? So you have extraordinary potential. Now we get to decide, A, what we want, and then how we create that. Hence this Create the Life You Want Facebook group. That's what we're working towards. So the first step is that vision. What are you wanting to achieve, create? Who do you want to be? What do you want to do? What do you want to have? So that is where the potential starts to become apparent. That's where we step into the belief that we have the potential to do something. Now, the next step is action. So let's break it down into one thing. So Liz, tell me, starting is the hardest. What is the thing that you want to start towards? So maybe it is getting in action, is joining a gym, or deciding that you are going to, without fail, get out the door at 6:30 every morning and walk for half an hour. Whether that is that you're going to start investing $100 a week, a month, into an investment account because you've never done it before and you're a bit scared, but you're just going to get into action and work it out as you go. Maybe that is that you are going to, what is the action step? Take time for yourself. You're going to book yourself into an Airbnb once a quarter, 4 times a year, by yourself to spend time doing something. This is the time conversation, time for the things that matter most to you, a women's retreat, or what is that? What is your action step? And if so, your action step, and you will hear me, the way I break it down is health, wealth, time, and love. So we create that vision, then it is your action step. So if your action step is a love goal and you want to make your relationship with your significant other a 10 out of 10 rather than a 4 out of 10, what is your next best step? Is it going right every month? Every week we're going to have a date night, or we're going to sit down. Our action step is that we're going to sit down and have a hard conversation about something that needs to be sorted, or we are going to do something to reawaken our intimacy and our sex life, or we are going to commit to eating dinner together tonight with the TV off and just us together. Whatever that is, that's the action step. So you've got the potential to do whatever you want. You create the vision that excites the heck out of you. It's that, the destination where you want to, what you want to bring to life. Then you get into action. So once you get into action, you start getting results, which is the next step in the momentum model. So what are your results? It's like, okay, fantastic. You start to have more energy or you start to feel calmer in your mind. So if that's a mental health goal or a physical health goal, you start to feel stronger, you have less aches and pains, or you lose a few kilos, you start to get results. Your wealth starts to grow, your relationships start to improve, you are having more time for the things that matter most to you. Some of the results won't be so great, so you get to shift things and be flexible and do something a little bit different in your action step so that your results come out differently. So it's not about everything being perfect the first time, but you have to be in action to get the results. And then once you start getting results that things are improving, your belief, your certainty starts to grow that oh my gosh, this is working. This is possible. I can create this life that I want. Your belief and certainty grows, and that unlocks more potential because you have a greater sense of belief in certainty in yourself that you can. So if procrastination is one of your habits that you get to break, this is how you think about it. You've got to have that vision. You've got to know where you're going. This is the difference. I talked about floating along in the stream and just dealing with whatever gets thrown your way, or you can get out and put your feet firmly on the ground and decide where you're going. So, that is your unlocking your potential. Then you get into action, and it's just one step at a time. It doesn't have to be this monumental thing that throws out your whole life and suddenly you're upside down. Just, the real transformation. I talk about myself as a transformation coach, and I can promise you that true transformation happens over time with the small daily actions. So get your vision and start to unlock your potential, get into action. What is your next best step? If you want a journal prompt for every morning, write it down. What is my next best step today towards this goal, the vision that you have created? And then you will start to see results. What's working? What's not? No fault, blame, guilt, shame. What's working? What's not? What do I want to keep doing? What do I want to do more of? How much better do I want to feel? Your belief and your certainty that you can do this, that you can do anything that you set your mind to will grow, unlock more potential, and the momentum continues. Make sense? So let me go back to stop sharing. How good is this StreamYard? I like it. I like it a lot. It's working. So tell me, does that work for you? Yes, we've only got a small number. I didn't let anybody know that I was going to go live this morning. This is a little bonus, but I want to support you to stay in action. We've unlocked a little bit more potential through the More Extraordinary Everyday Challenge. You've looked at, okay, I wanted to reawaken my enthusiasm for life. From the feedback that I got, there was lots of success in that. Now, let's not go backwards. Let's keep going forwards to maintain that momentum. What is your next best step? Let's get some more results. Let's unlock another layer of belief and certainty in yourself that you can achieve whatever you set your heart and mind to achieve. And then we unlock more potential, and it just keeps going. All right. I hope that served you well. And as I said, sometimes we need to hear these things over and over again. So if you need to save this, if you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel. You can save it and come back to it and watch it again. Please share it. Feel free to share it with anyone who you feel needs to hear this. And if you're in either Facebook or on YouTube, feel free to leave me comments, leave questions, keep the conversation going so we can keep the momentum going and continue to support each other. And one of my greatest passions is really women supporting women. I left a comment yesterday in the Facebook group. I was about to go and order oh my gosh, why am I going blank? Dr. Kiara Barr suggested a skincare and a particular product, and I was busy looking at it, and it was in the States, and then I realized, oh, we can get it here in Australia, in Mecca, and I had that on my mind to go and have a look at that on the weekend. And then Liz Sefton in our group left a comment that our beautiful Kim Morrison here in Australia with 28 has just released a. I'm particularly interested in the SPF. As you know, my values is about nature first, so chemical free is what I'm looking for. And I was like, oh my gosh, if I can support Kim and go in and get hers. So that's what I did. I went in and ordered it last night, keep the momentum going. So when I heard Kiara talking about the effects of these blue lights on our skin, I was like, oh my gosh, this is really something that I get to get on top of. So I went and ordered that, and now I'm excited and waiting for my beautiful SPF to arrive from Kim Morrison. And this is women supporting women. That was, thanks to Liz, thanks to Kim Morrison, thanks to Dr. Kiara Barr, and this community of women that continue to support each other. So that is what I'm wanting to create in here. And I hope that I can do that for you, and that you can support me to do that by contributing to the conversation. All right, that's it from me. I'm about to go live in the Enliven Vision Board group. We've got 33, I think we're at 33 amazing women. It's going to be this fabulous, intimate group that we're kicking off on Monday. If you are hearing this late and you want to jump in, there is still time to jump in. Unfortunately, the bonuses have now finished. I have got to somewhere. It's at one of Gia's jobs today is to find, I think we're up to about 11 hours of one-on-one coaching time that I get to find in my calendar next week. But I'm handballing that over to Gia. Yeah, Janet, I fully subscribe to that. Her products are beautiful. So those bonuses are finished. However, there is still time to jump into the Vision Board workshop and just start that first step of momentum, which is the unlocking your potential, which starts with creating a vision so you know where you're heading and exactly the life that you get to bring to life. All right, that's it from me today. Oh, so much love, and I will see you soon. I was going to say see you tomorrow, but I can't promise that. We'll see how we go. All right, much love. Bye for now.